All right, YouTube world, I'm here to show you guys how to get good caulk or silicone lines on a tile system. Doesn't matter where you're going. It's pretty simple. If you're not a professional or haven't done it a whole lot, I recommend this method. I've been doing this for the first few times I've renovated my bathroom and my kitchen. So it's pretty simple. You just put some painter's tape on each side of the joint and you apply the silicone along the entire run. It might take a couple of squeezes there, but as you do that, then you take a wet finger and then you apply it across, and then you rip up the painter's tape and then apply another dry finger all the way across for a third time, and you should have a perfect line. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now. And the thinner you go, the less mess you're gonna have. For this one, I didn't even use spacers. This is actually a unique little demo here. I'm making a platform for my mother. She has an elderly dog that she just doesn't want to put down. And this is actually just a piece of OSB plywood. And I'm just putting some silicone here. That way, when the dog decides to make a mess in the middle of the night, you just put a pee pad here, and hopefully the silicone won't absorb the urine smell or feces as much as grout would. So you can see here I'm applying rather liberally, and you know, this is going to smear, so if you don't have it all the way through, that's fine, because you're going to rub your finger over it just like a typical application. This is just an extra step. It's pretty bulletproof from what I've done. I've made some big messes in the past, so I did some research and then I found this online and I was like, oh, this is perfect. So don't forget, you don't have to go all the way to the end, but here we are. So I'm going to take my finger, dip it in a little bit of water. Water is crucial. You are going to need to put it in water, and don't get too worried about the look, because you're going to pick up this painter's tape and you're gonna get a nice crisp line. And if you're okay with it, then feel free to just move on with life. I like to do a second pass. And don't forget to have a little paper towel, because you will need to do this again. All right. And if you have a little bit of holes, that's okay, because now you have a little bit of excess, and you can clearly just dab them in there. And again, I love this painter's tape method just because you don't have to live with your mess if you screw up. It's a little bit easier to deal with. So if you're like me, you're prone to making messes, then this is probably going to be the route for you. So again, wash your dirty little silicone or caulk fingers. Try to dry them off. Get nice on. I even do 2 passes sometimes, especially if you have to like backfill like I just did there. You can see there's a little hole there I gotta get back to. But it's always easy to just get that groove going. And you can see this is a little bit more sloppier than like normal applications, but you get the idea. Hopefully, it's pretty easy DIY. Pretty much anybody should be able to do it. Yeah, you can always go back too to try to fill up the gaps there. So anywho, last run. The more runs you do, the thinner the line's gonna be. So just keep that in mind. And it's gonna be okay as long as it's not a super mess. Nobody's really gonna care. You just take this off. And if you can live with it, live with it. If not, then just put another pass through and your line is gonna look great. It's gonna be fine. Again, this is a little mock-up, but it applies to anything as long as you're putting tile there. You can live with this line. Go ahead. If you want a little thinner, not a big deal. You just put your finger through. Try to get it as smooth as possible. One last time. And remember, don't allow this stuff, see I have a little bit of excess there, not a big deal. because you can simply just wipe it off, but make sure you wipe it off when it's wet. If not, especially with silicone, you're gonna have a heck of a time getting it off. So there you go, guys. Pretty decent line here. I'm gonna wipe off a little bit of this excess, but as you can see, this was a pretty big joint here. All is well. All right, YouTube world, take care.